Hello, everyone. Today we are going to watch the Money Guy show, and he's going to tell us about the full warning signs of financial disaster. I have never seen the Money Guy show with you guys, so it'd be nice to take a look at it and see how we can audit what he says. Make sure to like and subscribe if you have not already done so, and comment below for any other videos you'd like me to look at. All right, let's see what this dude has to say.
There are 4 huge mistakes people make with their money that are often a precursor to financial disaster. All 4 of these are warning signs that indicate something is seriously wrong with your finances, and they can make your situation even worse. Some people do these things because they're already struggling to make ends meet, but others do them because they're just kind of careless or just don't know how harmful these mistakes can be. So today, we're breaking down all 4 of these warning signs, why they're so bad, and most importantly, what to do instead so you can avoid financial ruin. Let's start with the big one. The first warning sign of financial disaster is making late mortgage payments. According to FINRA's National Financial Capability Study, 16% of mortgage holders made at least one late mortgage payment in the past year. That's 1 in 6 homeowners. And I want you to realize how big of a deal this actually is. Food, clothing, and shelter are the 3 basic necessities of life. When you start missing mortgage payments, you're putting one of your most fundamental human needs at risk. And even just a single late payment can trigger a late fee, usually somewhere between 3 to 5% of your monthly payment. Late payments can also damage your credit score. If you fall far enough behind, your lender can start collection proceedings, and in the worst case scenario, you could lose your home. So what do? The best way to avoid late mortgage payments is buying a house the right way in the first place, using our 3-5-25 rule. On your first home, we even give you a little additional grace with only putting down 3%. Plan to live there at least 5 years so you're
Okay, so make a down payment of at least 3%. And this particular rule sounds great. I still think it's low. You should aim to do about 10%. If you have not been able to accumulate that kind of cash, maybe you're not really ready to own a home. And I see this a lot. Everybody's so happy to walk into a new home with 0 down. All you're paying is interest. You don't even own the door of the house. It's so sad to see that. And that's how you start falling, because when you haven't budgeted enough before, now to buy this house, now you're getting into a house that you probably can't afford, especially if you don't have any money as a down payment. Now, be 5 years in the home. That's usually the best way. The more you move, the more it's going to cost you, the less you're going to capitalize. And the interest on any of these mortgages are extremely important to keep an eye for. Now, what's the next one? Keep the total monthly cost at or below 25% of your gross income. The banks allow you about 35% of your gross income. Keeping it at below 25% for many is going to be difficult because of the type of house and environment and standard of living that they're already living. So that's normally what's going to play a role there. So having that down payment could make that difference, where you may be able to be a little bit over the 25, maybe 30%. And by the time you have a car and everything else, that's still going to be tight.
You're not underwater if the market dips, and keep your total monthly mortgage costs, including your principal, interest, taxes, and insurance, at or below 25% of your gross income. A starter home that keeps your finances in good shape will always beat a dream home that leaves you broke. And if you're already behind on payments, you've got to take this seriously and get back on track. I want you to call your lender, ask about forbearance options or repayment plan, and take an honest look at what's causing this problem. Because if you don't fix it, it could lead to the next warning sign.
An honest look of what's causing this problem, what you're shopping, where you're eating out. There's going to be a lot of little things that need to be brought back. My suggestion is always to pay additional money towards the payment of a house. So for example, let's say your mortgage is $1,200. Send an extra $100 whenever you can. This actually lowers the interest that you're paying on this house, and it lowers the number of years that you will be paying for it. So keep that in mind. When you can, send a little extra money.
and that is taking a loan from your retirement accounts. That same FINRA study found that 12% of non-retired Americans with retirement accounts have taken a loan from their account in the past year. 12% may sound like a small number, but that represents a whole lot of people. And I understand why someone would want to do this. You're in a bind. You see this pile of money just sitting in your 401k and you think, hey, I'm borrowing from myself. I'll pay it back. It's not that big of a deal. But here's what is a big deal. First of all, there's the opportunity cost. Every dollar you pull out of that retirement account stops working for you. So if you borrow $10,000 from your 401k in your 30s, you're not just borrowing $10,000. You're preventing that money from turning into over $100,000 by retirement. You're basically robbing your future self by shrinking your army of dollar bills. Second, if you leave your job before you've paid the loan back, the entire outstanding balance may become immediately taxable as ordinary income if the loan is not repaid or rolled over according to the IRS rules. And guess what? If you're under 59 and a half, you could also face a 10% early withdrawal.
That's correct. If you take from your 401k and you're not repaying it as a loan, you're going to pay not only taxes on the money that's taken out, but you're also going to pay a penalty, usually about 10%. There are some exemptions. We won't go over those right now. But I am not totally against taking money out of your 401k. It all depends what you're taking it out for. There could be an investment out there that may actually yield a better return. So something like that. But because you fell back on your mortgage or because you can't make your payments, that's a total different problem. Sometimes having these 401k savings are actually great vehicles to bettering your investment style, but it should be very carefully looked at how you're going to do it, and is it really going to give you a return on your investment that you're looking for better than perhaps your 401k. Most 401ks, you actually pay the interest back to yourself. So you're not really spending money. That money is still going back to you, maybe an administrative fee for the management company of the 401k. But that's how I see on retirement plans. Stay away from taking them out unless you absolutely have to.
Penalty on top of that. So what should you do instead? If you're facing a true emergency, that's exactly what your emergency fund is for. If it's not an emergency, but you're trying to free up cash to pay for a home renovation or some other kind of large purchase, the answer is a sinking fund. Start setting aside money each month specifically for that goal. It may take time, but it's much better than depleting your retirement savings. I promise your future self will thank you.
If you're disciplined enough, taking money from your retirement plan and paying it back fairly fast is actually not a bad idea. Just it should be for emergencies or a very careful investment strategy that will do better than the 401k or anything that will save you out of a massive problem. But definitely don't touch it unless you've looked at least these three things carefully.
Warning sign of a financial disaster is even more serious, and that is taking a hardship withdrawal from your retirement account. According to FINRA, 11% of non-retired retirement account holders took a hardship withdrawal in the past year. A hardship withdrawal is even worse than a 401k loan because you're not putting that money back to work. It's permanently removed from your retirement account. And unlike a loan, a hardship withdrawal is taxed as ordinary income immediately. So if you're in the 22% federal tax bracket and you pull out $10,000, you're only going to actually net around $6,800 to $7,000 after the taxes and the potential early withdrawal penalties. You're losing a massive chunk of money right off the top, and you're losing all the future compounding growth on top of that. It's truly one of the most costly financial moves you can make. If you find yourself in a situation where a hardship withdrawal feels like your only option, I want you to pump the brakes and ask yourself a few questions first. Have you fully depleted your emergency fund? Have you negotiated a payment plan with your lender or creditors? Have you cut every possible non-essential expense from your budget, like subscriptions?
Besides doing that, is your credit doing okay? If you haven't damaged your credit, perhaps maybe even 0% credit card. Some of them do have a percentage fee up front, but it's better than paying 22% of whatever it is you need. Hopefully, it's no more than $10,000. But this, what he's saying is good. He's going through very good ideas of looking at your emergency fund. Are you negotiating a payment plan? Negotiating payment plans are always going to have additional interest fees. And have you cut non-essential expenses? Definitely. That should be like probably the top one in everything that we do when it comes to finances.
And dining out. And have you
Dining
explored
out.
any additional income opportunities? Exhaust all of these options before you ever touch that retirement account. A hardship withdrawal should be your absolute last resort. Now, this last one might seem less dramatic than the others, but a lot more Americans are doing it, and that is overdrawing your checking account. FINRA found that 24% of checking account holders, that's nearly 1 in 4 Americans, occasionally overdraw their checking account. And that number is actually trending in the wrong direction compared to recent years. On the surface, overdrafts can feel like just a minor annoyance. You have a declined transaction and you have to pay an overdraft fee or a return payment fee. But it's not just about the fees. Overdrawing your checking account is a symptom of something much bigger. It tells you that your income and your spending are not aligned, and money is leaving your account fast.
Yeah, that's correct. Money is leaving your account faster than it should. I suggest to use a credit card without any fees and pay it off every month. Taking money directly out of your bank account every month instead of charging it on a credit card does not allow you to really see what you're spending on. When you have a credit card, but you must pay it at the end of the month, it allows you to see, oh, whoa, I'm really looking at it. Whereas if you have a debit card, which I don't really recommend anybody use their debit card when they're out there because it's directly linked to their bank account, and that causes other kind of problems, such as someone emptying your bank account. I've seen it a few times. There's fraud and they empty the bank account, and granted, by the time that the bank gets to it, you will have your money back eventually because it's fraud, but it takes a time. And if you have other payments to make, you could be days without having access to your own cash until the bank straightens out the fraud. Credit card is probably the best way to go as long as you stay disciplined and limited to what you can afford. And at the end of the month, you do take a look at what you spent it on. Where did it go? Where could you cut back? It's easier when you have it on a statement and pay it off at the end of the year, at the end of the month, pardon me.
Faster than it's coming in. And that is always a sign of a deeper issue that needs to be addressed. So what do? Start by tracking your spending, because you can't fix what you can't see. And make sure that you're following the financial order of operations, our step-by-step plan that tells you exactly what to do with every dollar so that you're always making the right moves and in the right order. Then you need to address the root cause, because the fix depends upon the problem. If your income is too low relative to your bills, the priority has to be increasing your income, whether that's negotiating a raise, picking up extra work, or building a skill that leads to higher pay. If your fixed expenses are too high, look at what you can cut or restructure, like your housing costs, your car payments, and even those subscriptions you have. And if it's a behavioral issue, like impulse spending, emotional purchases, or lifestyle creep, then you need to create some spending friction. Remove the shopping apps from your phone. Delete your payment info from shopping sites and use cash or debit cards instead of credit cards. And on the flip side,
Yeah, see, I don't agree with that. Use cash or credit cards if you can be disciplined to stop. Credit cards are a much better vehicle than using your debit card, because how many people really look at their bank statements and go through their expenses and see, oh, wow, what did I spend it on? It already came out of their bank. But if you have a credit card statement that comes in and you must pay in full, you are going to pay attention to it. So in that sense, I don't really agree with credit cards. But if you're not disciplined, then you're going to continue doing this.
let's automate all those good financial decisions. Put your bills on autopay and automate your saving and investing contributions. Make the good.
Totally agreed. automate your savings, even if you do $25 every 2 weeks or $50, $100 a month. If you automate them, you don't even realize that this is happening. And a lot of times, if we become aware, we tend to think we have that extra $100, where in reality, if we automate, we don't really even realize it. And we tend to have to look at, well, we have a little less money.
Good behavior is easy and the bad behavior is hard. But here's the deal. If you've ever done any of these 4 things, it's likely because you are really struggling with money. And you might be in an even worse spot now. If you resemble that, and that's the case for you, I want you to hear me. These mistakes are fixable. How your story started is not how it has to end. But it's time to get serious about your finances, and you need a plan. This is why we created the Financial Order of Operations. They're specifically for you. It gives you a clear roadmap so you always know what to do with your next dollar. For a deeper dive on the FOO, I want you to check out this video right here. I'll walk you through every step of the wealth building plan that could change your life. And even if you've made some major financial mistakes in the past, you can get back on track and then start building your great, big, beautiful tomorrow.
So great information. If you are falling behind on your mortgage payments, if you're taking money out of your 401k, if you're doing this emergency withdrawals from your retirement accounts, yes, definitely a big problem. I think if you're using your own cash consistently and not being disciplined enough to be able to go back and look at your credit card on what you're spending on and really creating a budget to spend on that, you just keep lying to yourself that you're doing okay when you're really not. It catches up. It's going to catch up with one thing or another. If you like this video, like and subscribe. If you want to see more of these videos, let me know in the comments below, and I will see you next time.